Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Things in My Head podcast. My name is Jenny, and this is
Lauren. Hey.
And we are coming back for another episode of Things in My Head podcast. So excited to have Lauren here.
Just us two again. Hooray.
Yay. And we had Brooke and Lauren do an episode, which was really, really fun last time. So unfortunately, Brooke did have to go to work. So we are going to film a secondary episode here with Lauren and me. And we're going to just talk all about goals and different things that we've been setting for ourselves. The kind of juxtaposition of when you're younger and you set goals for yourself versus as you age and get older, how that changes. And there's just like a lot of different things that when I reflect on when I was younger and chasing after a goal, and now that I'm older and chasing after the goal, the different hardships and different struggles that you might feel as you get older and try and set these things for yourself. Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when you get older, people are like, oh, you're too old for that. There's a lot of stigma of, oh, don't do that. That's only for, people that are younger. You've aged out of doing something that you might love. And I guess we're here to say, if you love it and you want to try it, just do it. Just do it. But I'm going to go quickly and shout out all of our platforms that you can follow us. If you're a podcast on YouTube, we also stream on Spotify, audio only if you just want to listen. And then we also have the Brooks Boutique. So it's Love Brooks Boutique on TikTok, Love Brooks Boutique on Instagram. And we also have a website, brooksboutique.com. You can shop all amazing luxury items there. And then we do 3 to 4 lives a day on Facebook where you can watch us talk about all kinds of things there as well. And that is Brooks Boutique Pearland on Facebook.
But now we try to not talk as much about the personal things because that's what this is for. This is what the podcast is for.
And then, of course, we have to shout out Cecile. She is normally the host and usually here with me, but
this will be 2 episodes in a row where she's not on.
Yeah, so she wanted to shake it up a bit. But she has her realty, so that is Sweet Petite Duo. If you guys are looking for a house or home in the Houston metropolitan area, contact them. They're an amazing team. And then, of course, that's a real estate Sweet and Petite Duo. Okay, perfect. I think
covered all grounds.
Everything. Okay.
Covered all grounds.
All right.
Let's talk about how the current goal that we've been working on came to be. But let's start with us being kids.
Okay.
And with goals that we set for ourselves, or more importantly, what I think adults and what society has set for us. I was thinking as you were talking, I think, yes, it's goals that we're like, oh yeah, I want to do this, but they also could be viewed as expectations.
Yeah. That is something I have struggled with for a very long time. I'm kind of a creative person. I don't go down like the path that maybe my parents would have wanted me to go down. And there's a lot of, they do a lot of judgment. You've been, obviously I've worked with the boutique for like 9 years. I started very, very young and the job has changed tremendously since I started. But my parents are like, don't you want to branch out? Don't you want to do something different? I see that you like what you do there, but you could expand. You could go to a bigger platform or do something similar like that. And my reasoning always is that I honestly really love working for the boutique because it is a small business and your ideas get heard.
Yes, there's more freedom. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. I think I didn't answer your question.
Okay. The goal of this podcast is to listen. I'm just kidding. So when we're younger, I think we have the goals of, okay, you got to go to school. You got to finish school. There might be the goal of having a part-time job or getting good grades or getting a scholarship. And I think we definitely set those goals for ourselves, but we're in an environment where we have teachers, we have parents, family members, teammates, coaches that kind of hold us accountable. And then we enter this big, wide adult world and we're kind of like, it's up to us.
Yeah.
It's up to us to like have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you do have that feeling of being lost. And then if you are having a goal, where's that person who's gonna like high five you and be like, hey, you did it, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I think goals are very interesting, especially as you said, like you did have a different future in mind. I myself had a different future in mind too. Like my goal was to be an actress or be in a theater education, and even at one point, even like being in broadcast journalism or you know, even being a director. So I think we set up these goals and then life changes, and life can change those goals or modify them. But it does become harder to set for goals outside of yourself, outside of your career, especially to not just have career driven goals, and then to hold yourself accountable, and then to congratulate yourself when it's being done too. So back it up to last year. Last year, Jenny had a goal, and that was to complete a coding program at Rice University. So tell me, Jen, how did that come about, and how did you go about executing that goal?
Honestly, I can't even remember why I was so impassioned to even learn something like that. It's very much out of my wheelhouse. Like, I studied art, we wrote papers. There was nothing about like coding, and computer science is obviously a very different thing. People go to 4-year school for it. And I don't know why I was bitten with the bug where I was like, yeah, I think I want to learn that. Like, I want to try that. I think walking into it, I was like, oh, you know, I like design and things like that.
And video games.
Yeah, and video games and art and things like making things work and look beautiful, and composition and things like that is what we learn in school. So I was like, I could be good with web layout designs. Honestly, us getting our website kind of...
Is that before or after?
No, it was before. We got our website and then I started the program.
Yes. Okay, so your idea to start the program came after we built brooksboutique.com?
Yeah. And I think when I saw that, I was like, that's something I want. I feel like I could be good at that.
Because we were paying someone. Like whenever Soraya, Mom, and I, we went to NARTS 2 years ago, or is it 3 years now? Like,
I don't know.
I think 3 years now. So we go to conference. It was last year. It was when we were in Houston, I think. Anyways, so we go to conference, NARTS, the National Association of Resale and Thrift. And there was this like, there is a website designer there who's part of the organization. And we were kind of asking around because that was our post-conference goal. And they're like, yeah, you should, you know, hire so-and-so, and so-and-so built this beautiful website for us. And that piqued your interest.
Yeah. I think so she builds it and makes it wonderful and makes it work.
Gives us like a good skeleton.
Yeah, she gives us a perfect skeleton for us to upload items to and be able to kind of like work around it. But then there were little things that we wanted to add to it. So we were spending more and more time trying to figure that stuff out. And I think that's what inspired me. I was like,
what if I just knew how to do it?
Yeah, what if I just knew how to do the whole from like start to finish and build it myself? What would that look like? And my dad is a very encouraging person. He was like, definitely do it. You know, you never know until you don't do it. So he was like, just apply for the program. You apply, you have to take a little test and send your application in. And I got in. So.
Which is an Ivy League school, by the way.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a sub thing of that.
Yeah, but that's still something really, but you have to be proud of what you accomplished. So I think that's part of the journey of having a goal. So we're very proud of you.
Oh, I definitely didn't know if I was going to get it, but then I told Cecile and she was like, cool. You know, you can, of course, we can build your schedule around it. She's real flexible with any kind of like educational thing. So I had the backing of where I worked. And yeah, I went into it. It was 6 months. I got into a little relationship right before, and I was
what? I don't know these things about Jen. I really don't. She keeps so much to herself, which is important. But okay,
I literally got into a relationship. I was very, very stern. I was like, I'm about to embark on something that's financially, you know, I'm gonna have to put money into this. This is gonna take a lot of time out of my
good daddy.
I was like, I'm just gonna know that like I might not disappear. You'll still see me around. I'm just not gonna be as present because my focus is gonna be completing this. And it was a night course. Like it was 3 days a week, 3 hours a night. So like right after work, I'd have to jump on my computer, and then it was 20 plus hours of homework that had to be completed each week. So, and I have no background in this. I don't know at all what I'm doing.
Learning it from scratch.
Yeah, so that was difficult, and I was just happy that I was able to persevere. We ended up breaking up because of the coding thing. So
Hey, I would much rather have another certification than a man. I'm so sorry.
I guess that was the good thing that came out of it. But dude, I was like heartbroken.
I know.
I
don't know because you're just now telling me.
I was literally in my bed taking the class at nighttime.
Oh.
I wasn't even sitting at my desk anymore. I was just like, I'm just so sad. And now I have to sit here for 3 hours and learn something very difficult. I was just, I mean, you were there with me. You could definitely tell that I was stressed out.
You were, because like Jen gives her all and everything, but it definitely felt like you were not a shell of a human. Like you weren't like 100% Jen, but even then, like you still gave your all, but we knew what you were dealing with. And then I think that's also another point, important aspect of having a goal is that you have people that kind of understand and make room, because not everyone is going to make room. Like if you want a goal, like there are going to be boundaries and hurdles, but it really does help to be in an environment where you're like, okay, your schedule, cool, you're unavailable this, and we had an understanding that you would be a little less unavailable, but we were cheering you on the whole time. So I think that's really important too.
Wherever you work, them giving you the space to be able to do something so outside of your wheelbox,
which doesn't happen in most careers.
Yeah. So I was really, really thankful that I worked at a place that was so flexible, that was giving me not only the time, but also encouraging me to do my best at meetings. They would be like, and you finished this week, and they would clap. So I was like, it definitely was brightening my spot, because sometimes you don't feel like you're very smart. You feel like, oh man, I tanked that homework, or I couldn't figure this out. I've been dealing with the same bug and issue for 3 days now. I can't fix it. So definitely, it was good that you guys were cheering me on, and it helped me complete my goal. And I did complete it.
You completed it. So then after the goal was completed, did you feel accomplished?
I felt, like you said, I was definitely like running off a shell of myself. I felt dead afterwards.
I know. Yeah.
I think that there was a high emotionally about doing a program like that, especially I'm very, very, very passionate about the things that I do. And I think that I was giving it my all for so long. I was used to a routine, get home, sit at the computer. I always had somebody to talk to, something to do, which definitely helped me through that breakup.
And even then, like, I know you would complain about your some people in the class, like your group member, because it's never fun, like working in groups of people that you don't really know too well, like class projects.
I was going to say it was very different because I work with an amazing team of women.
Oh, I love women.
Yes. And I had been working with women for like 9 years.
Yes.
I don't even remember what it is to work with the opposite.
A man will walk in the boutique and we're like, who are you?
We're
like sirens.
And that was a very dominated by, there was like maybe 3 other girls.
Yeah.
And we weren't always paired up together. Honestly, I never got paired up with them.
You got to spread the wealth.
Yeah. So
we're a hot commodity.
It was a lot sometimes, especially in tech. Guys talking over me like they know what they're doing. They're saying that it's this way, you got to type it out that way.
Mansplaining 101.
But I was like, no, I fix it. I got it.
I'm smart. I'm not only beautiful, but I'm smart.
Yeah, so it was good.
So even though you were hanging out with people that may have not been like your cup of tea, you were around people. You were surrounded by a lot more people than what you were used to, especially then working at the boutique, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just have work. That's all I have. I don't have anything to do. I've definitely dealt with that before. And then you're back into this thing, and then let's kind of come to like right before, like where we are now, where you finished the program and you were telling me how you kind of felt almost like a depression when it was over.
Yeah, I think I felt an extreme, because it was like go, 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 and then it was like full stop. And when it hits that full stop moment, you're just like, well, what do I do now?
And that's where goals come in handy, even if it's like the smallest thing.
It's like, what do you do after that goal is completed? So, I've tried to keep up with it, just doing small little projects for myself mostly.
And for the boutique. Like, you've already coded some things for the boutique, right?
Some little things for the store. And yeah, I would like to definitely keep working on that goal, that's something that I think I still have a long way to go in.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that I was able to do it. That now that with that knowledge, it does help the store out.
It
and
does.
you guys.
It's so important. It's a crucial thing to have for
Yeah,
us.
it's definitely super crucial. But yeah, I guess we should probably segue,
to now. Okay, so then you finished the program and you said that because you didn't have a whole lot of structure, you're like, I need the next thing.
Yeah.
And so you thought, okay, because you were like, go, 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 go. You felt like your physical health was declining.
Yeah.
Or because you were active. When we first started working together, I always felt like if you had a weekend off, you were kayaking in Austin, like on the river, or you were like gonna go rock climb after work, or like you were telling me about skateboarding too.
Yeah. So before I've always been a very active person. I was in a sport,
Color guard, all
team,
that. Yeah.
something like that. My friends and I were active. We would go on like skateboarding trips. We would go kayaking. We loved to just be outside all the time. I guess COVID kind of like really shook that up. I really kind of fell off during that time, and I stopped
I totally
being
didn't think about that.
Yeah, I stopped being active, and I honestly, after this, I kind of missed it. Like I just saw myself, and I just was missing a piece of me, and I wanted some of that confidence back. That I know that being active definitely gives you a bit of confidence in life.
And serotonin, like working out does give you serotonin. Thank you, Legally Blonde, from that. She wouldn't kill somebody. She was a fitness instructor. Someone who works out that much wouldn't kill someone.
Yeah.
Noted.
They're happy people.
Happy people.
Yeah, so I just wanted to do something, and honestly, I'd been trying by myself but failing. And I'm usually a very hyper independent person that can do things by themselves.
Absolutely. Yes, you are.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I want to do a 5K, and whoever wants to come with me can come up. And I thought a lot more people would sign up to it. They were like, yeah. But everybody was like, no. And Laura was like, yeah,
I'll do it. So Jen brought up a good point that when she was living alone, that also contributed to her not really wanting to go out and be active or do so much, on her own. And that was the case for me. So my partner and I, we've been living together for now a year, moving on from that. And living with someone does really help. Like we play pickleball on Thursdays, and he's always encouraging you to go do something. So you were like, I need someone to do this with me.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's start. And then I literally went on Pinterest and I went to I found the Couch to 5K infographic, and I was like, okay. And so we were like, okay, we're going to start after we get back from St. Louis, when we get back from conference. And then I think a couple weeks passed.
I was going to say that was like the start of I think we've
Friendship.
known each other for a long time. We worked together great. And
6 years.
Yeah. 6 years.
6
really?
years. I think
Wow.
so. Yeah. 5 or 6.
5 or 6 years. Wow. That's crazy. And we worked together for so long.
And we're definitely friends at work. I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever fully butted heads. No. So we've always gotten along really, really well. And then going to conference together definitely brought us together as friends. We definitely brought our walls down a bit more. And then we were like, okay, let's start this. And I think even from day one, us going to work out, something just really blossomed within not just an accountability buddy, but a friend too.
Yeah. I think that just us being able to meet up every single day has been so different in anything I've ever trained for in my life.
3 days a week.
I know, 3 days a week we go, and it's just been incredible. To be able to we're already 4 weeks in.
Yep. And today was the end of week 4. So we're halfway through the Couch to 5K, but then we'll have a whole month and a week after this is over, this 8-week period, to keep training.
Yeah. So that we can keep it up and improve, because I know for myself, I have not worked out in a very long time. So I was very, very out of shape. And so just doing this is tiring me out. So I think that I need a little bit more time just to make sure I'll be able to run it in a good time. But I was thinking when you're a kid and you set those kinds of goals, I feel like it's easier to follow it because there's less of life going on. When you're a kid, you don't have work,
no bill,
nobody accounting for you to
homework.
be there.
Yeah.
So, and then when you become an adult, then you have all these external factors that kind of take you away from your goal, and you cannot be so singular in it. And I just think that that's so when you accomplish something, we always are really, really excited when we're younger and we have more people cheering us on. But honestly, when you get older and somebody completes a goal, I think we need to keep that energy going for that kind of like, because it's harder. You're working, managing your bills, managing relationships, and
a household.
And
like we maintain a household at the same time.
Clean, laundry, all those little things.
Taking care of your car.
Yeah, taking care of your car.
Yeah, so it's been a wild ride. So it started off with us meeting up. You know, we still meet 3 days a week. We literally met this morning, and did our early morning jog like we do on Fridays. And, you know, it does it in increments. And I think it took us 2 or 3 runs for us to kind of get on the same pace because we knew we wanted to do together. But I think for me, I do have a competitive side. And so the first couple runs, I was like leaving, not intentionally, just like leaving Jen behind. But then like it's kind of like the turtle and the hare.
Yeah.
Because me like running fast, I was like, wait, I'm overexerting myself. And then I feel like I can't finish this workout. So I was learning from you.
I was feeling overexerted most of the time.
Yeah. So like you taught me something in that, and it was kind of like, oh wait, I don't have to like run super fast.
There's a strategy to like being able to like get into that. So I try to keep that strategy because I don't have a lot of strength. So I'm like, okay, when I have a moment, I can just burst into like a speed and then I can recover a little bit. So I've been working on that aspect, but yeah, it's been exciting to have like different goals. Like, what would your future goal, you know?
So we did vision boards at the beginning of this year, and there were some things that Cecile did talk to us about at the end of last year. And she's like, going into this new year, what do you think is going to be your non-negotiable? And I think non-negotiable is the best word to call goals for us as adults. So like you can have goals as an adult, but I think it's like a broad spectrum of like, I want to own a house one day. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to make sure I'm making this amount of money. I want to make sure I have like this kind of car. But I think you go down to the brass tacks of it, and you have to say, when life is like a tidal wave pushing you over and over and over again, you have to say, these are my non-negotiables. And that for me was at least auditioning for a show. I did audition for a show. I didn't go in person because life was really crazy. I was super nervous. So I did submit, there was like a video audition link available, and I did submit it. Also, it's been a long time. So I do have a theater background, and it's been a long time since I auditioned for something, and I was so nervous about auditioning in person again. So kind of chickened out. I did the web audition submission, and it was more of an equity like theater. So actors who are full-time, or like it was kids like who were on break for the summertime. And my work schedule would not have had worked for this show that I auditioned for. So I just did it. But then my goal, obviously my goals for the rest of this year is to finish the 5K. It is in October, maybe do another one by January. And then my goal before the end of next year is to be in a show. I have not been in a show since the October before COVID, so October 2019. And it was definitely, I would say it was kind of hard doing both the boutique and that show. But non-negotiable, like I'll make it work. I have a bunch of like managers and team members who have my back, and I know that they would push me to make sure that I do make time for that. And other goals that I have is like, you know, I do run our family business, but one goal that I do have is to own my own business one day from the scratch. I made it from the ground up, and it's my store. And I kind of have a passion for like coffee and bars and cocktails, and I don't know. That's kind of in the back. I know it's hard. It's definitely a harder industry to get into, but that is actually something that I want to do one day.
Yeah. And I think that that's really good to have something that you want to like own, that's yours, and that you can have a really good like creative vision. I know you've talked to me about this goal, so I'm really like, I love your vision because I know what your vision is.
You know what? Because like we talk about, and that's one of the things we do talk about when we're on our walks.
Yeah, that's another good thing is like when we're on our runs and our walks, we're able to kind of also decompress the day.
Oh my gosh, it's two girls going exactly like.
You're able to kind of like talk about all these things that, you know, no matter what, you get frustrated.
You get to vent.
Yeah, so you just get to vent with somebody who completely gets it and totally understands. And that way you don't take it home to your friends or your parents or your partner. So you're not having to like vent or do any of that with them. You can kind of just like fully take that.
We trauma dump on each other.
Yeah, we just trauma dump on each other.
Well, we don't just talk about like, we don't just complain either. We talk about our personal goals. We talk about family. We talk about, you know, even just like fun things like pop culture stuff. So it isn't just like us like complaining, because I think that would be kind of what's the word? Not helping like the situation, because with your goals you're trying to become better.
Yeah.
And so yes, it's important to decompress, but like also you don't want to like drag yourself down. So then sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm like, am I complaining too much to Jen? Am I bringing down the vibes? Am I bringing it down? But I went over my goals for the future. Are there any other goals that you have that are in like they're like you can kind of see in the horizon?
Goals for the future that I can see in the horizon would be finish the 5K.
Yep.
We're definitely going to do that. Get my new car. That's a goal that's been for a 1,000 years.
But you've been saving up and you've been doing a fantastic job.
So saving money, putting it aside, and being able to get a new vehicle
that you want, like a car that you want.
A car that I want, that I see myself driving, that's going to be reliable, but not like a financial mistake, because that's my biggest fear. And I think I've held myself back a lot on doing that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a financial mistake. So I try to like make sure that I'm like walking out of this very, very happy and, you know, very confident in my decision, because it is a lot of money. So I want to definitely be like 100% sure of it. But I think I am. So that would be like my second thing, would be to get a new vehicle. And then my third and I guess final goal would be like freelancing with the coding that I learned. I want to take that and do that as like freelance and start that as well. So that would be kind of what I want to do.
That's awesome. And I want to emphasize something that I think it's great that we already had a relationship as coworkers, but I really have appreciated the friendship that I have, that we've established together. And we were kind of talking about like, it's great that we do have a coworker relationship, but our friendship is outside of like other friendships that you and I have with other people outside of each other that kind of evolve around like either drinking or partying or going out all the time. So it's been nice as people in their late 20s, almost 30 years old, that we have friends that we can go and like work on goals together, or it being on self-betterment than like, you know, oh, hey, we're going to hit the bars this weekend, which you have, like I've invited you out, but it's not like the entirety of our relationship. So I really appreciate that.
I was going to say, that's what I appreciate the most out of our friendship, is that there's no pressure to go out, do anything, drink anything. We can just hang out and we're good on, you know, just being social together with nothing else involved, which I think also helps me, who has a lot of like, some of my anxiety comes from social situations. Am I doing the right thing, saying the right thing? But I think hanging out with you gives me confidence, because I don't have to have those external things to be fun or funny or likable. I can see myself, you know, like I have a friend with Lauren that I don't do any of those things with, and she appreciates that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And then it's also nice, like, you know, I think it helped too. I did it with like my other group of girlfriends, and we kind of did it with the boutique. But when it comes to goals, like having a vision board also really helps too. That is kind of how we rung on the year with the Brooks Boutique family. The team was making a vision board. So if you yourself at home, like you know, don't know where to get started, like honestly looking for inspiration, like whether it's a Pinterest board, which is more digital, or physical media, and you just like look through, you know, magazines, or even print out pictures from the internet, and kind of just like having your roadmap set out for you, and knowing that you may not accomplish everything on that board, but it feels really good when you tick something off.
Yeah, it does. It definitely feels really, really good. So yeah, if you want to start a goal, I encourage you. I hope this was either motivation or inspiration to try and like do, and it can be something very, very small.
Baby steps. I think that's what we kind of went into this episode, was that it wasn't like, oh, we want to do this and we want to do that. I think it's kind of like we are just making our way through life.
Yes.
And I think that's everybody. And it gets harder as an adult, but don't forget to have things outside of your career. Don't forget to have things out even outside of your relationship.
I was going to say, even like sometimes, raising a
families.
family, all that like gets in the way of like personal goals.
And I'll do it when I get to it.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
Sometimes it's good to, set a little bit of you time. You're doing this for yourself. There's nobody else that you're doing this for but yourself. So
that's really
it
important.
definitely is good for the mental.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Make sure to follow us on our socials at Things in My Head Podcast on Instagram. Follow us here on YouTube and listen on Spotify at Things in My Head Podcast. Email us at thingsinmyheadpodcast@gmail.com. And make sure you're following us on all the Brooks Boutique social platforms. Love Brooks Boutique, Instagram and TikTok, and on Facebook, Brooks Boutique Parentland.
All right. That's everything. We'll see you guys later. Bye.